Hello and welcome to the Roofless Dog and Pony Show. My name is Julio Panisello. I am the dream alchemist at Roofless Painters, and this is episode 31 of the Roofless Dog and Pony Show. I will be the host of this presentation as usual. And I'm gonna explain that the Roofless Dog and Pony Show is a weekly live presentation featuring the conceptual and stylistic inspiration behind our painting webinars. We paint a new collection of paintings every week, and during the Dog and Pony Show we introduce the theme of the painting collection. We talk about the inspiration behind the painting collection, the reasons why we are going to paint, what are we going to paint and why, and also how. So we also present paintings related to the theme, so they serve as hopefully as inspiration to the theme, I guess. It's live, so with anything that's live, you gotta roll with the punches. But also you're gonna find, or you'll be able to find all the episodes in two places: our YouTube channel, which is now full with the Dog and Pony Show episodes and other stuff. We have tutorials and we have webinars, and also in the Instagram page. So in either of those two platforms, please comment, like, subscribe in our YouTube channel. We would really appreciate it. And so let me just introduce the first slide of the painting webinar. And you guys, we are going to go straight into the snake pit with this painting webinar. There is so much we want to talk about. I cannot promise you I can keep it within 30 minutes, but I will try. So please stick with us because I think it's going to be interesting. So I made some notes. I'm just going to see if I can find them. And so the first Sunday of February, there is a very interesting celebration that happens in a church in London. They do something called the Joseph Grimaldi Memorial Service. And I want to talk about Joseph Grimaldi. This is a painted portrait of him. We couldn't find the author, the artist, the painter behind the portrait. But yeah, Joseph Grimaldi, 778, 1837, was an English actor, comedian, and dancer who became the most popular English entertainer of the Regency era. In the early 1800s, he expanded the role of clown in the harlequinade that formed part of the British pantomimes, notably at the Theatre Royal, Drury Lane, and the Sadler's Wells in Covent Garden theatres. He became so dominant on the London comic stage that the harlequinade role of clown, with capital C, became known as Joey, and both the nickname and Grimaldi's white face makeup design were and still are used by other types of clowns. So as you can imagine, the Joseph Grimaldi church service consists of dozens and dozens of people, or we should say clowns, Joeys, I guess. They attend the church service, and it's not a typical religious service, but they just host this celebration. Of course, this happens paying homage to Joseph Grimaldi for being the creator of this classic figure that is not so well appreciated today. And we're going to talk a little bit about it, but we marked this date in the calendar because the images are incredible, the images of the service. We found out that this year, because of COVID, the service will be online. So we're waiting for the actual link so we can attend the service remotely. But we're very excited because despite all this crazy recent hijacking of what clowns represent and what they inspire, I feel like we can say that we are personally defenders of clowns. We are a little bit pro clowns at Ruthless Painters, but let me just kind of like backtrack a little bit, and perhaps what I should do, I'm going to give you examples of paintings in which clowns are the subject matter, and also at the same time I will talk about how the idea of a clown has been distorted and now is just so not appropriate. Let's just put it this way. We learned a lot by reading about how clowns, especially in 2021, have been hijacked by the far right that is trying to use memes using Pepe the Frog with a rainbow wig in order to protest progressive ideas. They say they want to reclaim the meaning of a rainbow, where this is headed, and then they also use memes in order to what they say, fight back cancel culture, since they feel like they cannot really say all the things that they wanted to say. So we believe that this is a very old art. We believe that because of many reasons, it's getting extinct. Stephen King with the It novel started the whole thing. Clowns are now a major source of fear and anxiety. There is a phobia. I have it somewhere here. There's a phobia of clowns. There's a word for it. It causes panic attacks. Coulrophobia or clown phobia is an extreme fear of clowns. If you have this phobia, then you most likely believe clowns are creepy and frightening. If you are terrified of clowns, you may also feel the same way about mimes and other characters who paint their faces in a similar way. It's likely that you may even feel traumatized at the mere thought of a clown. There are studies, psychological studies, they try to find out the reason or the basis for this. And this is very interesting because if you only see one side of the argument, you could start getting convinced that, this is not, the clowns are terrifying, their kids are afraid. 42% of Americans, in one study, they feel that clowns are scary. But on the other side, there's this idea that being scared of someone behind a costume, behind makeup, could also be an indication of perhaps not being an open-minded person who is not afraid of people wearing different kinds of outfits. And I want to bring an excerpt of an article talking about drag queens today being the contemporary version of clowns, and how they, in a way, they bring some of the topics and the things that clowns are well known for. So we love reading about these two sides of this issue and how they're how should I say that? Oh, let me just kind of like bring some examples. This is George Condo. This is we try to bring examples of contemporary artists today, living today, using clowns as a subject for their paintings. And of course, there is the aesthetic aspect, and we're going to focus on this webinar on the aesthetic aspect of clowns as a subject, because even though clowns as a concept today, it's being stretched by all sorts of sides, from people who say that clowns are racist to people who say that being afraid of clowns is a form of transphobia. So these are like both super extreme ends of the same spectrum. So conceptually, there is a war, I would say, between factions of opinions that believe the art of clowns conceptually is an extreme art that should not be used today. But we want to focus on the aesthetics of the subject, and that's going to be the main focus of our painting series. So George Condo, it's been called psychological psychologist, a cubist psychologist, or an artist who works with psychological cubism. That's right, psychological cubism. So his portraits are recognizable, so there's a certain representation, but what he does is creates different emotions or different parts of the face that represent different emotions, and he has a numerous or a body of work or a series based on clowns, and his style is very specific, so it's not necessarily pretty, but we just brought examples of that artwork. This is a piece by Tal R. Let me bring the information. Tal R is an artist who was born in Israel. I think he now lives in Denmark. He's a contemporary artist. I think he was born 1968. 1960s. So he moved to Denmark, and his style is described as kolboshnik, which means leftovers, a Hebrew word for jack of all trades. And we found a painting that is a still life with a little figurine of a clown, because we thought it's nice to tie up the style with an actual the subject of our painting collection this week. Again, these are contemporary images. I think this was painted in 2000, 20 years ago, so it's not super contemporary. I don't know if you guys remember images of this installation. I believe it was in 2017. And the artist is Hugo Rondinons. Hugo Rondinons. He installed a lot of or sculptures of clowns. This was in the Contemporary Art Center, where I don't remember, and I don't have it. Life-size clown sculptures posed within a gallery to emphasize their introspection and melancholy. People seem to respond to this deeply and contemplatively, whatever that word's pronounced. This was an installation that was featured everywhere at the time. I believe it was 2017. I'm not really sure. And we almost did a collection of paintings based on this. And I'm going to use this as a vehicle for clowns, or the clown style incorporated or used by fashion. And this is where we're going to find our inspiration, because even though clowns as a concept is being stretched, and it's right now a concept that is debated between different opinions. The fashion world has incorporated the style or the aesthetics of clownship into their own medium, making clothes. So our webinar will consist of contemporary images of fashion editorials that incorporate versions of clown aesthetics. How's that? Before I show you a couple of examples, I just want to show you this painting by Chris Knight. Chris Knight is a contemporary artist, and we love his work because he uses a very traditional style of painting, incorporated or applied to contemporary subjects. So this painting, he's very quiet. He's Canadian. He's not very well known, but he has a huge following. We are fans of Chris Knight, and this was painted in 2014. The title of this painting is Diamond Eyes, and it's an oil on canvas 18 by 24, which is not, it's a really, it's a size that we've used before very frequently. And this could be an example of doing portraiture, which is essentially the basis of our webinar, incorporating clown aesthetics into the portraiture without going full on conceptually into clown territory. And we're just want to give an opportunity for people who feel like we are throwing we're throwing them into the snake pit, that you don't have to go all the way into clown aesthetics based on the idea that we have, the traditional idea that we have of clowns. We can incorporate that. And again, I'm going to reinforce the word aesthetics, because that's where and how we're going to focus this assignment. And in that sense, we think that there's an incredible richness and very stimulating aspects of the subject. And we are not apologizing for that. But we're going to talk also about other themes. But anyhow, Chris Knight, he always uses a masterful color palette. We love the tongue-in-cheek playfulness of using the pattern and the motif on the wallpaper or the background applied on the portrait of a face. He doesn't necessarily go into clown territory, but obviously this is like even with the colors, the blue and the pink, they seem almost Picassian in the sense of like using those two conceptual colors as basis of this painting. And let me just bring another one that we absolutely love. We found this painting titled Two Clowns in a Landscape, One Holding a Letter, One Walking a Dog. That's the title of this painting. 1981, so that's like 40-year-old painting. And artist Colin Harrison. We didn't have time to investigate or find out more about this artist, but one of the things that we do during our webinars not only is just trying to follow the little crumbs left behind by other painters throughout art history, and try to connect those crumbs with an artist or a movement that we are not aware of, and just like move away from the Picassos and the Van Goghs that everybody knows. So perhaps with the help of the amazing Jen, we will be able to find out more about Colin Harrison. This reminds us a little bit, it reminds us about the work of John Curran, which we talked about at some point. John Curran using traditional portraiture or traditional style to create contemporary portraits. Color palette incorporation of landscape. Conceptually, this is a very full, thanks friend, it's a very full, Colin Harrison. Just love the outfit, talking about fashion, talking about style, talking about aesthetics, and how incorporating some of those very rich and traditionally interesting and stimulating and fantastic and fabulous and spectacular elements of clowns into art and paintings and stuff like that. Well, guess what? There's a very famous artist, Wayne Thiebaud. Wayne Thiebaud. I don't know if you guys. I'm pretty sure. I don't know why I say this. I don't know if you guys. So Wayne Thiebaud is known for painting ice cream cones and bubblegum machines and slices of cake using different colors. Some people want to pull him in the pop art movement. He is, believe it or not, he's still alive. He's 100 years old. He lives in Arizona. I don't know if he's painting or not, but maybe that's something we're going to put on our notes to find out if he's still painting. But, well, guess what? He was not only interested in those amazing still lifes of plates and cakes and colorful things, but he has tons of paintings of clowns or of subjects that are related to clowns. This is a portrait, so this is one, but I'm gonna bring another image of something that's brings together perfectly fashion and clownship, if I can use that word. He has a few paintings of ties used with the same kind of like style, color, saturation, repetition, pattern, double projection of cast shadows and playing with that. And then there's this one. It's a clown. It's literally titled Clown. Is it Clown Tie? Yeah, I don't have the title, but I think so. And I don't know how recent this is, but obviously we are absolutely in freaking love with this amazing, incredible portrait or image. This is Wayne Thiebaud, believe it or not, Wayne Thiebaud. Two clowns dancing. I don't have the year. This seems like a different style, but we could not love this more. So Wayne Thiebaud, best known for his paintings of cakes, pies, pastries, and toys. He didn't plan to become a visual artist. He was an apprentice of a cartoonist at Walt Disney Studios and intended to work as a commercial illustrator. But he had a friend, Robert Mollari, that told him he should just become a painter. So he was friends with William de Kooning, with Franz Klein, but he avoided abstract expressionism because he wasn't interested in abstract expressionism, and we love him for that. He's mostly grouped with pop art, with the pop art movement, but he considers himself just an old-fashioned painter. And he remains best known for his still lifes of confections, sometimes painted from his own memories, we didn't know that, which he considers interpretations of Americanness in his words. And then there's this fantastic painting of two clowns dancing. With this series of paintings, we're trying to regain or rescue the idea of clowns being art and being stimulating and intellectually incredible, ahead of our time, and recognizing that elements of clowns have been infiltrated in other mediums and have enriched those mediums, fashion one of them, but other mediums as well. Recognizing that a fear of clowns may be also rooted not only in the changes in culture, but maybe also rooted in fear of the other, fear of the strange, fear of something that doesn't look like us. And for that matter, I feel like it's very important not to shy away and just get stuck with the idea that just because something looks distorted or covered with paint or acting weird, or being queer, using the term queer with the original meaning, which means strange and unpredictable, it should mean that we should be afraid of it. So I know that I'm preaching right now, but anyhow, this is also an interesting painting by a female artist, Berlin-based, but Austrian. She was born in Austria. Her name is Maria Brunner, and she considers herself a painter. I think this was painted in 2019. We don't have the title, but yeah, just a very interesting incorporation of portraiture and elements of clown that it sort of like opens. It's open to different interpretations, let's put it this way. Another example of an artist who lives in the Coachella Valley. His name is Carlos Ramirez, and this was painted in 2017. Title, I Ain't Your Clown. So he was part of the Date. What are the group of artists? The Date. Gosh, I should know this and I forgot. Perhaps you guys could help me. Date something. So his body of work examines the inequalities within Mexican American communities, and he tries to champion the common man. His work is resourceful, scavenging for creative materials in the desert, and complex building layers and textures to disguise the political within the popular. That's a little bit... I don't know who wrote that statement, but I didn't. But yeah, so the idea of recycling, and it's important in his work. And also, this is very interesting because it says materials include house paint, sparkly stickers, handwritten bilingual text, rusted bottle caps, discarded packaging, and stylized acrylic painting with deeply layered figurative workings. And just out of the blue right now, doesn't this feel almost like part of the clown language, like building out of nothing and just creating an incredible image with whatever materials you have at hand. So I feel like, yes, there's a clown right here on this painting, and he doesn't paint clowns. He paints other stuff, but the usage of materials itself, I feel like it's very clown-like, and I love that. And snakes, spiders, scorpions, and other natural elements from his hometown are mixed with Catholic symbolism, aliens, gang members, pop culture references, and commercial imagery. His paintings continue to evolve, retaining magical allure while becoming denser and more meaningful. I don't know, that's last sentence, it was just a little bit of stuffing. But yeah, so that's another example. I'm just going to give you another Wayne Thiebaud example, clown with eyelashes. It's a different kind of portrait. This is another example, and I think I'm getting closer to half an hour. So this is an artist. Her name is Emilia Olsen. Oh, I forgot where she's from. This is just titled Clown, and it's another example of how you can use that as a subject and then really infuse it with whatever you want to. I don't know if that's good. So she is known for recreating or featuring or rendering female figures in sorrow, and the paintings transmit an idea of tranquility and reverence, and also melancholy, sort of like an eternal quietude. recalling Ana Mendieta's seminal Siluetas. Ana Mendieta is an artist who worked with her own body as medium, and what she did, she created, she laid on the ground and then she put things around her body, or she just dug out the surface underneath her body, and there's a very interesting story, or her life story is very interesting, but we're not going to go there yet, obviously, because we don't have time. But yeah, I love the fact that she's inspired by her work. Her figures appear to sink gently into the earth, intimately in tune with nature's pulse, though the corpse-like placement of the bodies in these canvases immediately evokes death. Olsen renders them in a state of sublime peace, implying instead a serene return to natural cycles of life and death. So talk about using a subject to express a completely radically different idea of what we associate with a clown. And by the way, part of the misconception or the myth of clowns and why they are going extinct and they are so hated today, if you think about it, clowns don't have a job, they are not wealthy, they have trouble communicating at the same level because that's not their intention. Some people don't like the fact that they see them as bullies. Other people that are intellectualizing this maybe way too much, they think that clowns today represent, they're the perfect example of what's called toxic positivity, in which people are trying to deny someone else's pain and force them to be happy, and so they remove the idea of empathy, and that's why it's called toxic positivity. So I don't know, I just felt like the clowns were thrown into a cell, and then they were put a tape in their mouths, and then people are just throwing everything at them that they feel it's wrong with contemporary culture. And I don't know, I just think it's a little bit sad. This is a painting that was submitted and selected in one of the National Portrait Gallery's competitions, the BP competition, and I forgot the title and the author because I didn't have time. And I'm going to bring right now examples of the image source that we are compiling that will be the base of the inspiration for the painting series. This is a magazine cover that we found. We did not, I think it was 2019, and I don't even know, we don't even know the name of the magazine, but we love this portrait that's very classic, incorporating elements of clowns or clown aesthetics in the form of makeup. Dots are very clown-like, so we like this idea of contemporary makeup today in fashion, incorporating those elements and not conforming. There's something that we love about clown aesthetics, that it's precisely its function, even if you want conceptually, it is meant not to conform with society. So that would be one of the image references. Another example of what we are gonna do or propose. This is not just going to be a clown series, it's going to be a portrait series in which elements of clown aesthetics are going to be incorporated. And we can wait to talk about more things about that. This is a different example. We have other examples of full figures and examples of fashion editorials using accessories, not just all limited to clowns, but that I think is from a Japanese magazine. It's again a portrait with elements of clown aesthetics incorporated in it, and I think that's essentially that's essentially all I've got. And before just ending this presentation, again, we're so happy that we are just we're kind of like diving into the snake pit, because after we put a lot of effort analyzing where were the stigma or the belief or the cultural transgression, the fear, where are they really coming from? Why are people today saying that painted faces are racist regardless? Because, by the way, the history of clowns at any point had anything related to blackface. But perhaps now it's just like we are so saturated with everything that's going on. I will say this, that we also found that, and that's perhaps how right-wing extremism has co-opted the idea of clowns as a protest for whatever they think it's wrong with the world. There was a serious, I don't know if there's, no, obviously they don't because of COVID, drag queens going to libraries and reading stories to children, and which was very popular and it was very successful. And the far right or elements in the far right had issues with children being exposed to men with women's outfits and exaggerated features and loud voices and the way they acted. So in fact, there were instances of protests in front of the libraries, and people wore clown outfits to protest those events. So I feel like everything got sort of like mixed in, and now it's a mess, and the only losers here are clowns who are trying to do their best to keep us entertained, and they have it harder and harder because they are lost for options, I would say. So let's celebrate Joseph Grimaldi's memorial with our own version or portraits incorporating clown aesthetics. There is a lot to celebrate, I believe, and we can just tune in on Sunday. Please sign up online. It's Friday live, but if you cannot make it, you can still register, and we will send you the webinar recorded later. Whoever signs or registers gets a bonus session on Tuesday in which we bring in a little bit of art history related to themes that happened during the webinar. We give another opportunity to do more personalized feedback, and it's only $20. You don't have to have all the materials. It's great for our mental health, and it's more important than ever. We have learned to believe that it is the arts that makes us human. So arts are not a luxury, they are essential. So hopefully you'll join us tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. And thanks Mardarevna, thanks Ancient Future 2012, Jen, you're amazing, Lois, I can't wait, and Claire, thanks for joining regardless. Laura and Linda, oh my gosh, we love your work. You are kicking ass, lady. Exhibit after exhibit, so good. It's so good to see you grow and expand your influence. You're an incredible artist. Your sculptures are incredible. Your textile paintings. Everyone go to Linda Lax. Please follow her. We are super proud of you. And Mia, Mushroom Souk, thanks for joining us. Julie, I hope you, I don't know, that was the expression. I need to revisit that. But yeah, Julie, thanks so much for joining. And again, another extended thank you for the amazing podcast you sent to us after the presentation last week. We've been sharing it left and right, and people love it. Amanda, what's up? Clowns lady, you need to join us. And Darlene, thank you so much. I know this is a little bit delicate, but hopefully you enjoyed the presentation. Thank you guys. This is so exciting, and hopefully you'll have a lot to say and you'll want to share it with us. You can share it with us in the comments already, or if you want when you join us, but we can't wait to hear from you. Bye everyone.